welcome back to another episode of Getting to Know Your FPC Neighbor. This week we have somebody special to introduce to you again. This person has used the time of the pandemic to be creative and bring joy and blessing to our world. We'd like to introduce to you Kate Manners. So here's Katie.
Thank you, Dan. I am very excited to introduce, most of you know them, but introduce you again to our friends and members, Kate and Beth Manners. Thank you, ladies, for being here this morning.
Thanks for asking us.
Thanks for asking us to be.
And we have spoken about this briefly before we started filming, but what a gift and joy to be in this space with you both this morning.
It feels wonderful to be back at the church.
So we have a lot of questions for you guys today because we do have a lot of budding artists in our church. And I would love to know, first and foremost, when did you start or what made you start painting in this time?
Well, I started painting when the pandemic first hit, which was back in March. And I started it because I was bored out of my mind. And as many of you know, I go to a day program, and my day program was closed. So I had a lot of extra time on my hands, and I just felt like I needed to do something because I was bored.
And I went to AC Moore when I heard her
And
program was going to close.
And Mom went to Michael's.
To Michael's.
When
Sorry.
my
Sorry, AC Moore.
when my program was gonna close.
And I just filled a cart
So
with as many things as I could see that I thought Kate would be able to possibly do. From
Yeah.
tie-dyeing to, you name it. And
birdhouses.
there were some wooden birdhouses, and I thought,
Okay.
these are big, here's some paint, I'll take that home, and she could paint a birdhouse. So that's how
And-
that came into the mix.
And I remember looking at her that day and going, "Really, Mom? A birdhouse? Really?
She wasn't too
Like
enthused.
this is what you want me to do?"
oh my goodness. And you really, now did you start, that was my question, did you start with the birdhouses?
Yes, that is what I have started with.
And when you sat down looking at the birdhouse, how did you, like what inspired you?
Well, the funny thing was that it was really a way of reconnecting with my grandmother that had died, and she used to be an artist, so this was my way of reconnecting with her.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think just the connection with the paint again. Kate used to paint when she was little, a lot, lots of different
Yeah.
ways. We've always had that, and her grandmother was an artist and always inspired her, encouraged her to paint. And then that just kind of fell away over time. In elementary school, she was actually recognized for painting by her school.
I was, and that
Anyways.
felt really good.
Oh, yeah.
But
So it just was kind of reconnecting with the paint, and she liked it.
But it was coming back to that old friend that I thought that I had lost, and then it was really finding it again.
Good. And did you feel right away when your mom had brought home these birdhouses and you were like, okay, really? I'm painting birdhouses. Did you find as you started painting birdhouses that you enjoyed it right away? Or did it take a little bit to get in?
Yes, I found it as soon as I picked up a brush again, which was like one of the things I was most afraid of after my grandma.
Oh.
But as soon as I picked up a brush again, it was like she was in the room.
Oh, is that beautiful? That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us.
And I just couldn't put it down.
Oh my goodness. And when did you start sharing that with the world?
Well, I started doing Facebook videos.
I don't remember how we discovered that she could do that.
I remember the moment you started sharing on Facebook. I guess I'm asking is when did you decide, hey, we could put this on Facebook and share what we're doing?
Well, the moment that I knew that it felt good was the moment that I knew that I wanted to share.
And Kate likes to kind of be a teacher too in that. Like it comes across in her videos, you'll see, where you get this, she's telling you how she's doing it, or she's, we've done it with baking, everything.
The moment that I wanted to share my way of coming back to myself
She just like that feedback too from people.
with the world.
watching.
Yeah.
I wanted to make and what I really want to do with my life is I want to make the world a better and brighter and more beautiful place. So
That's exactly what you're doing. I have found personally in the way you have loved your neighbors well, just by sharing your art with us, I have found that because I've been on the social media scroll. Whenever I see a video posted by you, it feels so almost meditative to watch you paint and create, because we see all of the stages of it. We see where you begin, we see where the product ends, and they're just beautiful.
And that's what I want. I want people to feel like they're actually experiencing something.
Absolutely. Now, you started with birdhouses. I see a lot of beautiful things here in front of us. But what else have you painted?
Even though I started with birdhouses, I have expanded
To what? Tell someone.
to pour paintings, to signs, to crosses, to canvases, to
Ornaments,
ornaments, to
snowmen.
snowmen, of course.
Now, tell us, I know that you also have put a lot of your art up for purchase, and then you've done sort of awesome things with the money you've raised.
I have asked my Facebook community to purchase some of my art, and what I have done with the money that I have raised is I have given half of it back to charities.
That's awesome.
And what I have loved is I have loved watching my money do good things in the world, because that means that I'm doing something, and that is all any of us wants. That is all God wants for any of us.
Absolutely. You are an example of loving your neighbor well, and that is exactly what God asks us to do. That is so cool.
So as I've been painting, I've been thinking about how I can be a better example of the kind of person that God sees when He looks at me.
That's amazing, Kate. And Beth, how does it feel to experience this? Because I have seen you as a celebrity in all of these videos, most of the videos as well. But how does it feel for you to help in this creation and as it's being created? Like, do you see even where it's going to end when she begins something, or do you?
No.
What
I
is
would
that?
say,
The fun part about all this is we don't know where it's gonna end up. We just love the process of doing it. So
that's been the fun part, to just kind of let her do what she does and not interfere, say, no, you can't do that. Now, I'm sure for anyone who's watched us, you know that we get into little spats on camera.
for anyone who
Especially if I try to direct anything that she's doing, so
for anyone
directing doesn't help.
for anyone who's actually seen a full
Yeah, sometimes
a
they,
full length video that I've done, and she's involved with it, it's like,
we argue a little.
You're
But
human.
it's been great to see her find this purpose, you know, and not, my biggest fear when her day program closed was, what are we going to do? And she's just going to be watching television endlessly.
my biggest thing was, what am I supposed to do?
Now today we find where we're like, why don't you watch some TV for a while?
Take a break.
Because Kate would do it all the time
I would do
if she had
if I had the time and I had the money, I would.
somebody to help all the time, right? Because it does take, you know, she has to have assistance, but she
And
does the painting
and
herself.
Oh yeah.
and people around me to help me all the time. I would do nothing but
But paint.
Paint for now, that's her passion.
Now, Kate, do you have any advice for people who want to create themselves?
I do. I want to make people understand that it's okay to be creative, because before the pandemic I was creative, but I didn't know how creative I would be. So my advice to those people watching that want to create is just go for it.
Oh, that is great advice. Thank you for sharing that.
Because you never know. You never know where it's gonna end up. And I had no idea that it would become like this huge business and a huge obsession for me.
Well, and by the joy and creativity it's inspired in your family, and by you sharing that with us, it's bringing so much joy in this time too. So thank you for using this time of the pandemic to create joy, and then to not keep it to yourself, but to share it with others, that it's possible for all of us to do that in this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else you guys want to share with us today while you're here?
I think it's, you know, for the kids and for families, I just would say, you know, give them as many opportunities as you can.
You know, let them have as many chances as they want, because you never know what you're gonna find. You never know what God is going to lead you to.
And you're never too little to paint. because Kate started painting when she was just a toddler. I have pictures where I let her paint with pudding. And
Great.
she painted,
you-
with shaving cream and all kinds of things like that, whipped cream,
You're,
with
ne-
colors in it.
you're never too young.
When you're at that stage of putting your hands in your mouth, you want to stick with things that can go in your mouth, but it can, it's endless. what you
You're
can
never
do.
too young or too old
That's right. That's
to create. So, what I want to say is, I want to make sure that people understand that no matter your age, no matter where you come from, it's okay to be as creative as you want to be. Because that is the beauty, and that's the beauty, that is the beauty of all of it. Because you never, and I want to say that for people with disabilities, we've been classified as, who have been classified as dumb and who have been classified as less than, then create something, because once you create something, you find yourself more than you ever knew you could.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for being here, for loving your neighbors so well. I feel so blessed for being in this room with you right now. I know that this will be such a blessing to all of us at home watching this as well. God bless you guys.
Thank you so much.
Keep loving your neighbors well. Bye, FPC.
Bye, guys.
Well, before we sign off, I just want to remind you to check out Kate Manners' Facebook